First track, Gimme Some Lovin' by the Blues Brothers from, yes, a classic movie. With Belushi and Aykroyd, you cannot go wrong. This was actually the first song I played in band on the cowbell, and I would say, I don't know if there was a better song to play, especially during our city tournament downtown for the basketball games. Now, I only did band for 1 year. I would have done a second year, but my tux was at the cleaners, and I had a friend come in from out of town, and there were terrible locusts everywhere, so had that not happened, I may have done band longer in high school, but otherwise, it was just that 1 year, so... Track 2, Release by Timbaland featuring Justin Timberlake. I am not sure how this was not bigger on the album. Obviously, this album had Give It To Me, The Way I Are, amongst other hits. But this, on Madden 08, was money. And shout out to my bud, Sean Freeman. This was our classic back in the day in high school. And again, with the cowbells, with the horns, I don't know how this didn't get more popular, more viral, what have you, but I mean, Timbaland production, can't go wrong with it. Number 3, Hung Up by Madonna, brilliantly utilizing the Gimme, 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 A Man After Midnight sample by ABBA. Fun fact, she had to write them permission for it, Benny and Bjorn. And they don't really let people sample their work, so clearly this was an honor for Madonna. I think it was the second time ABBA had let anybody sample their work. And she did not waste her opportunity with it. Again, a dance floor burner, obviously a dance floor banger too. While we're at it, I mean, how can you not jam out to this? I mean, definitely one of Madonna's best hits since 2000, for sure. It just really shows how ahead of their time ABBA was. Because I remember first hearing this, I'm like, wow, back in the day when I was, 12? And I was like, wow, this is a good... Of course, I didn't know it anywhere near as well as I do now, but the fact remains, the breakdown, the ticking clock. Time, I don't know if it does go by slowly. It really varies on who you ask. I mean, think of the movie Clock Stoppers. I mean, did time really go slowly for them? You be the judge. Track 4, Signed, Sealed, Delivered by the wonderful Stevie Wonder. An upbeat tune. The man does not make a bad song. One of many artists that does not, and I would say Stevie Wonder is top tier, especially his run in the 70s and 80s. Heart to top. I gotta give Walmart a shout out for bringing this commercial back to the forefront, because I had kind of forgotten about it for a bit, and then I saw the commercial and I'm like, oh yes, what a timeless tune. All right, my intermission here is going to be about Linkin Park dropped what actually is an unheard song, Lost, the 20th year, which I can't believe it's been 20 years since Meteor came out, which I believe is in March or April. Shout out to Mike, Rob, Phoenix, Mr. Han, and Brad for still keeping Linkin Park train going. Shout out, of course, to great Chester Bennington. I still haven't listened to it because I'm very precious with an unheard Linkin Park song. And of course, I don't think it can live up to my expectations because Meteor is my favorite album by them. But great job by those guys. taking care of things since Chester Bennington passed away too early, sadly. So shout out to them, and I'm excited to hear the material from Meteora, the unreleased ones that we've heard. Track 5, Cheat Codes by Danger Mouse and Black Thought. One of the filthiest productions of last year. Could be one of the top 5 beats I've heard, but Danger Mouse has the life. He's a great producer. He's produced Gnarls Barkley, Gorillaz, Adele, you name it. With Black Thought, one of the best rappers ever. I mean, you couple great production and samples with, of course, Black Thought, and you're not going to get anything less than a hip-hop classic. Of course, this album wasn't as popular as it should be because it's not commercial enough, but, I mean, this beat is tough. There's no other way to say it. My goodness, underrated. Both of them underrated still. All right, 6 Lost Ones by Lauryn Hill. I would not want this song to be about me, and I'm pretty sure it's about Wyclef Jean, and
it's funny how money changes situation. Miscommunication leads to complication. My emancipation don't fit your equation. I was on the humble you on every.
I mean, those first 4 lines, Lauryn Hill was just waxing poetic on this. Plain and simple, no other way to put it. And, I mean, this whole album, of course, but I can't imagine listening to this for the first time if it was about me. I'd have to get some comfort food and just, I don't know what I'd do. I would hate to be in that spot. Lauryn Hill, one of the best. Canned Heat by Jamiroquai, groovy as can be. Used brilliantly in several movies. How else could you sum it up better? This boogie is for real. No lies detected there. Too much boogie. Almost an overwhelming surplus of boogie. Not that there's anything wrong with that. My last one is a tribute to Trugoy, aka Dave, aka David Jalicoeur of De La Soul, who sadly passed away Sunday, the day of the Super Bowl, who was on many good songs by De La Soul. My favorite is Me, Myself, and I, and who did the verse on this classic Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. And the song really is nothing without his verse. And for what it is, because Feel Good Inc. is a heavily layered song, and of course, one of the first videos I ever watched back in the day. Didn't know what it was, didn't know what Gorillaz was, but his verse, again, there's no version without his rap verse, because it fits so well, and you can't have it. It wouldn't be anywhere near what it is today without it. And I'm like, I don't know if I know Gorillaz as well if they didn't have this big hit on their hands, which again is enhanced by their verse, and that's why, again, they deserve to win the Grammy. For Best Pop Performance, they also deserve the Record of the Year, but that's a conversation for another day. But shout out to Dave, because, again, De La Soul is a classic rap group, and this verse was just... The song is incomplete without it, and I wonder how much I'd love Gorillaz without knowing this song and their whole... And I am very spoiled because of the 4 times I've seen Gorillaz, 3 of the times De La Soul was there, and of course it's not biased, but the one time De La Soul wasn't there, Feel Good Inc. again felt incomplete with Damon just kind of standing there on the performance. So my good friend Blake and I were at the show in October in Chicago, and he was out there, and of course he killed it in one of his last performances. So what an honor to see that, and of course when De La Soul came out, you knew something great was going to happen. Even the breakdown's great, but just the sinister. So shout out Dave and rest in peace, and shout out to De La Soul.